Hello, this is Idodmg and welcome back to the channel. In this Magic Legends video, I want to talk to you about the very first state of the game after about, what's it been, almost a week now in the open beta. We have this state of the game from our very own Steve Ricossa, one of the executive producer for Magic Legends. I'm excited to see kind of what they've heard, what feedback they've heard. I glanced through, but I want to go ahead and go through this with you, and hopefully you enjoy this video format. Let's go ahead and talk Magic Legends. State of the game, open beta. We're going to just go through and see what there is here within this document, this little update. Welcome to the Multiverse, Planewalkers. I'm your executive producer, Steve Ricossa, and the development team is thrilled that the game is finally available for everyone to jump into and enjoy. We've had an absurd number of players already create their own custom Planeswalker, land in their favorite plane, and embark on their adventure across the multiverse. Now that we're live in open beta, there are so many players in the game that some issues are popping up that we never encountered, even in our closed alphas with tens of thousands of players. I wanted to take a moment to address some feedback we're seeing and the next steps we plan to take as we work towards full release. First up, it looks like they're going to go ahead and talk about game performance. This has been my number one issue with the game. It's so sporadic and all over the place when it comes to drop frames and just overall performance. So let's go ahead and see what they have to talk about here. We have monetization next. Awesome. All right, so for performance, now that there are literally hundreds of thousands of players in the game, we're discovering performance issues that are impacting the player experience for many players. Some of these issues are simpler in scope and allow for fixes to be made almost immediately. We've made some tuning adjustments on the server side to better handle the load on maps, but we've also made data changes to cull some excessive entities that were making the game burn frame rate unnecessarily. So they're optimizing better, hopefully is what that means. Some of the more complicated issues revolve around our nav mesh system, which provides collision for you to walk on, as well as pathing your summons and the enemies they're fighting. Okay. We've already made 2 updates the past week to make improvements to client performance, but we'll continue to refine the system to free up those frames and make the gameplay as smooth as possible. Great. Hopefully sooner than later, right? I'm tired of playing and then all of a sudden my frame rates drop down to 10. So we don't have a time frame, or really just that they're working on it, okay? That's better than nothing. We'll take what we can get here. Monetization. So when I first opened this up, I kind of read a little bit about this. I think that when you get to level 50 on the Battle Pass, you'll unlock the Dimir Assassin, which previously you had to pay money to get. You would have to pay $12 to get 5 chances at getting the Dimir Assassin through buying booster packs. So let's go ahead and see what they're talking about here within this State of the Game update. Because monetization, that was probably my second behind performance, was the character, that class, the assassin, being locked behind that paywall. Don't forget, you can get Zen through in-game currency. You can sell Aether you've earned in-game. You can only get 50,000 Aether a day, but you can turn that into Zen if you want to. It's very time-consuming and not efficient at all, in my opinion. But we're not going to go into that in detail right now. Let's stay focused here on this update that we have. One other area of consistent feedback has to do with monetization. I first want to thank you, and remember, this is Steve Ricossa saying this, okay? I first want to thank our players for the feedback and spirited discussion. A big part of open beta is developing an understanding of how best to provide valuable content to players, and we hear you. The Dimir Assassin class unlock and the Night Veil Stalker spell will now also be unlocked at level 50 of both free and premium Battle Pass tracks. So all players can access this class entirely through gameplay. We're looking forward to hearing more of your feedback and are committed to working with you to continue to refine monetization further. And I'll comment on that in a little bit, but let's see what else they have to say. In addition to this feedback we've received, I also wanted to address the currency exchange. To account for our earliest players, the Cryptic team does a one-time seeding of 1 million Aether into the exchange so that users could immediately use the exchange. Without that, the exchange would be all but unavailable until the community built up their own supply of Aether. This is where you can only get 50,000 a day. The 1 to 385 exchange rate, that is 1 Zen for 385 Aether, was selected because this is ultimately what we gathered from available data within our closed alpha tests. And once this supply exhausted, the exchange will open entirely on Aether supplied by the community. I don't have a lot to say on the exchange other than I'm not a huge fan of it because Aether is so valuable that, I mean, in order to even buy enough Zen with Aether, you wouldn't even be able to upgrade any of your stuff. You would literally have to just focus on getting Zen. But back up to the Battle Pass topic, I can see some people getting a little bit upset about this with the not only the Assassin class, but also the spell that comes with it being unlocked for free. I have two things I want to mention about this. First of all, I know people have spent over $100 gambling those booster packs trying to get that Assassin. So some people that have spent that money to get that might be a little bit upset that they could have just waited for level 50 of the Battle Pass. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of that topic. I personally have spent $0 on the game. I'm just trying to see how much I can do with a free-to-play account. One last comment here on the Battle Pass, and the max level of the Battle Pass is 50. There's a free track and a paid track. I have a video talking about the Battle Pass. Link for that will be down in the description. But basically, level 50 of the Battle Pass is going to take you a long time. They have the XP gated through daily and weekly quests, and you're severely limited on how much you can level this Battle Pass up. I've been playing for a week, and I think I'm like level 3 or 4, and that's by doing every single daily and weekly every single day. So they really throttle how quickly you can actually level up to get to that level 50 point, which I don't know how long they're thinking they want it to really take. Probably I would guess until the next big content update. Pure speculation on that, but it is nice that they're opening up to all players so you don't feel like you have to gamble those booster packs or spend an absurd amount of gold on the broker, which I just don't recommend. All right, enough of that. Let's go on to monetization. Is a big topic that we could talk about, but let's try to stay focused here on the state of the game. So chat here, we have chat spam. Some of the chat configurations we had during our closed alpha playtest worked just fine for 40,000 plus players. But these are shaking under the weight of the logins we're seeing in just the last few days. We've already made changes to help mitigate the spam we're seeing in chat by putting you into instance chat instead of global chat. I kind of like that idea so that you can just chat with people that are in your, hopefully in your overworld. Is that what that means? We will continue to improve the chat feature to give you more control of your interactions with fellow planeswalkers. One thing I want to comment on, and this is kind of related to, but it kind of popped into my head in reading this, is each overworld can host up to 6 players. Party sizes are limited to 3 because your dungeons, your story dungeons, and your ordeals, you can only have a group of up to 3 players for. I feel like if I'm in the overworld, though, I should be able to invite everyone to my group if I wanted to. I guess it doesn't really matter since you can see everyone on the map. No, that's not true. It does matter because if you're not in a party, you can't get grouped into the same instance of an overworld. Like last night, we had a full party, but I had 2 more people that wanted to join. I couldn't invite them. We were just running around doing events in the overworld. Please let us invite a full party of 6 to run around in the overworld. Simply, if we queue for an ordeal or a dungeon, just let us know that we can't and we need to get rid of 3 players. Simple resolution and brings more social aspects and community feeling to the game. Speaking of ordeals, I went through and did all of them, took notes, recorded footage. I put it all into a video. Every single ordeal in the game, I made a video. It's all in one video. It's all timestamped. So if you want to know about the ordeals, which ones I think are worth your time, which ones aren't, check out the card up top for that as well. Next, we have here in the state of the game is the tutorial duration. Oh boy. This is a big one. The tutorial currently is the entire first zone of the green mana plane called Tazim. And the tutorial, when you're a brand new player, the tutorial is pretty lengthy, if I'm being honest with you. And the problem is you cannot be invited or invite anyone to your party until you've finished the story campaign for Tazim. Like I said, that can take quite some time. Let's see what they're going to do about it here, though. We found that during our closed alphas that extending the tutorial phase of the game helped players understand their random hand, better understand their spells as they built their first decks, and more easily onboarded people into things like your personal realm and artifacts. I get that because once you complete it, you unlock your personal realm, but based on feedback, we're seeing the tutorial timing may have swung too far the other way, and the team is working to deliver the following key changes to the introductory flow in the near term. Good. An overall reduction in time to progress through and complete Tzim, enabling additional spell slot unlocks, dual color decks, and more in a shorter time frame. Good, get us into the action quicker. Allow parties with players that are in the introductory flow experience once you pass the solo tutorial section, completing the Wild Energies mission. Okay, so we both have to be in the introductory experience though. I don't like that. Reduce the amount of time it takes to visit your realm the second time to more rapidly unlock that part of the game. Based on feedback that people want to get into deck building even sooner, we've decided to double the drop rate of brand new spell drops. This update will be going live next week with the maintenance. That's on Tuesday next week. And we look forward to hearing even more of your feedback so we can continue to improve the game. We will, of course, continue to monitor feedback that you're giving so that we can make more improvements and adjustments as time goes by. We think the changes will really help get new players into the game faster and allow you to experience more Magic Legends and what it has to offer sooner. Good changes. I really can't complain much. They're listening. They're listening to our feedback, guys. Player-to-player collisions. We have very narrow player collision capsules during our closed alpha testing, and it ended up causing an issue. But the player volume we're seeing in the game right now is causing issues we definitely don't want to see. In the very near term, we will be removing collisions from player among other players. I literally, before I saw this update in this post, I was at the broker trying to sell something, and there were so many players crowded around it, I couldn't get up there to interact. So, hey, good change. Good change. Endgame. This looks like a whole another topic, man. This thing is crazy in depth. I'll try to have the timestamps down below for y'all so you can go ahead and look through and for what you're wanting to know about. Endgame. There has been a lot of discussion as to what constitutes the current endgame system for Magic Legends in open beta. Since the game is very new and we haven't really addressed it officially, I'd like to discuss what we consider the endgame to be right now. The full depth of the realm system may have been understated in the realm blogs we had on the run up to launch. I can agree with that. The player progression system. So they're talking about your personal realm right now. There's 4 workstations and each one can be leveled up to level 10. There's 5 island colors with 10 levels of attunement each, and the main overall core with 10 levels of progression. Each station will provide you with new benefits such as higher quality artifact drops, the ability to craft your world enchantments, significant reductions to spell page costs to level up spells, unique artifacts, and roughly 30% of all spell unlocks will be from your personal realm. This system is driven completely by earned in-game currency, Aether, and Planar Mana, which you can buy Aether and Planar Mana with Zen. So don't be fooled there. You can still definitely 100% pay to speed up leveling up this portion of the game. So that's the end game. The difficulty levels that we've implemented synergize with the realm system by not only providing more challenge for players that have progressed, but also providing significantly more drops and more rewards out of those drops. You'll have a higher chance of spell, artifact, and equipment drops in order to maximize your loadout building options. You also earn more XP to level up classes more quickly, in addition to higher quantities of gold, Aether, spell pages, artifact fragments, and upgrade materials to level up your equipment. While all of these features are present in open beta, we do want to observe community sentiment for each of the type of system you would like to see, so we can expand upon what we're doing and implement new systems as time goes by. All I have to say about this is it sounds like right now what the end game is leveling up your personal realm and rerunning missions on higher difficulties. There's 4 different difficulties in the game. There's a total of 10 ordeals, 15 story missions that can be replayed. So you have 25 dungeons basically, and then you have 5 overworld maps. So in total, there's about 30 maps that you can farm and do on all 4 of the different difficulties. The 25 different dungeons, the ordeals and story dungeons, those do have the world enchantments and regional enchantments as well to get more rewards for higher difficulty. So for me personally, because I've been doing the end game now for a day or two, you got to make your own personal goals right now. There's not a defined end game that go do this, go do that. Yeah, there's dailies. Yes, there's weeklies. But really at the end of the day, you kind of got to have your own goals in mind. That's pretty much all I have to say right now about the end game, other than they do definitely need more systems. I think it'd be cool that once you finished all 5 regions, you unlocked an end game specific zone. Maybe even have a PvP zone. I did a duel last night and it was an honest blast. There's so much potential here that they can do with the endgame and Magic Legends. Let's hope they do something sooner than later. Last but not least, Steve Ricossa goes ahead and talks about general improvements. As a live product, the Magic Legends team is committed to not only adding new content, but providing fixes to issues that manage to slip into the live version. This is all the truer in open beta timeframe as we work to continuously improve quality as we march towards launch. While you'll see weekly maintenance to the game and some nice fixes, we're also planning larger pushes of mainly bug fixes and improvements from time to time. We're currently working towards a larger push of quality of life fixes, general polish, and stability improvements for mid-April. That's 2 weeks from now. This is just one of many future builds that will have improvements to make the game run more smoothly and more fun to play. Hope this gave you a more inside perspective of what we're working on with a better view of the timeline we're looking at for improvements. I think everyone that's playing the game, giving feedback that we can use to make the game more stable, more rewarding, and just straight up more fun. So basically, it looks like they are listening to our feedback. They're going to be rolling out updates. It looks like the next big update is going to be middle of April for a lot of the improvements they talked about in this dev blog. Anyway, I really enjoyed going through this with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, the video format of the state of the game. I'll have all the links down below and in the comments for some videos to check out if you're playing Magic Legends. We have a class overview, a beginner's guide, an ordeal guide, and more videos to come. If you enjoy all the content here on the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell to get notified when I post a new video. I thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll see you in the next video or live stream. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.